Hi.
What are your hopes for the EU energy package?
Well, I think in March 2007, the EU leaders set out a good strategy to take a global lead on climate change. So then we were talking about doing it. Now we've got to show we can do it, and we have to deliver the package that the leaders outlined. At the moment, I'm convinced that there's a big majority in the Parliament who want to tackle climate change, but we have to keep the pressure on to make sure that we get the detail right in the package.
So what is Europe doing to keep global warming below 2 degrees?
Well, what we're going to do, we've got a whole package of measures to tackle CO2 emissions from different sources, from big industries, from the car industry. We hope to get something on the shipping industry, looking at how we can change the way we build houses. So looking at tackling CO2 at every single level, not just one level. It's not enough to do one thing. We have to look at it across everything we're doing.
But what overall emission cuts do you think are necessary if we're to stay below 2 degrees warming?
Well, in Bali, the world leaders agreed that we need to cut at least 25% of our emissions by 2020. The EU set a target of 20% if nobody else does anything, or 30% if there's a global agreement. I would like to see a global agreement and at least 30% by 2020, with a longer term target of 80% by 2050.
And how can the EU use this energy package to show real world leadership in fighting climate change?
Well, the rest of the world is looking now towards the EU, because we know that there's going to be a change in the American administration. We know we're going to get a new president, and both the candidates are signed up to doing something about climate change. I've met United States governors. They are already doing their own measures, and they want to know, can we make emissions trading work? Because if we can make it work here, that's the basis of a global scheme. So what we do is extremely important, because we're setting out the measures that the rest of the world can follow.
And what measures will you be pushing to make the energy package as strong as possible?
I'll be looking for measures which we know will add up to that 20%, 30% cut. The problem we're having at the moment is a lot of companies are lobbying hard, MEPs, trying to water down the package. We had a very disappointing vote in our industry committee last week about cars. In the environment committee where I sit, we're hoping to rectify that, because there's no point having laws which don't actually tackle emissions. I think the whole of the population of Europe expects us to do serious things to tackle climate change. This weekend in England it was flooding again. It flooded last year. We have monsoon type rains. This is not normal weather, and I think people understand how important it is now.
Thanks very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck with your campaign as well.